The Premier League weekend is upon us. Oh, you wanted to...
It's okay. Premier League weekend is upon us. I know it's a few days away from now, but I have a list of games here. Gameweek1.
For those of you who love Akapapula, the Muyindi, where you go to, guys. Yeah, just messing. Don't put $1 million. Don't put your house.
$1 million, and then they start looking for you.
And then they start looking for me. You guys.
Liverpool.
Those who love.
Okay. Liverpool will be opening with Bournemouth.
That's
a Friday. On Friday. Friday. Yeah, that's Friday 15. Sure win for
Liverpool.
When
I say sure win. Sure
win. Okay, we have a complicated one here. Aston Villa is at home to Newcastle. This is an early kickoff on Saturday.
You know the hoodoo on early kickoff, but that hoodoo usually applies to a scenario where there's a big team involved, and maybe it's even away. Those of you who follow football, you know what I'm talking about. Let me see. Aston Villa and Newcastle.
You know, Newcastle has lost most of its preseason games. They are still having a conundrum of where they've not yet signed some probably players in where they wanted to fill up.
Okay.
Most teams have taken their targets, and I think they signed one. I'm not yet sure if they completed the signing, but they've so far only signed Elanga, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and Aston Villa seems like it hasn't lost anyone, though they haven't brought in much, but they haven't lost anyone. So personally, I would give this to Aston Villa.
Me too. For me, you know, anything can happen in soccer, but I'm just going off recent events. Recent events whereby there has been some bit of, should I say, unrest and tension in the Newcastle camp regarding Isak. So usually such things don't seem much, but there's a way they play to the psyche of players, the team as a whole, the administration, and everything ends up, you know, reflecting on the pitch. So for that reason alone, I'm giving Aston Villa. It's a tight one, and it's early kickoff. Early kickoff is usually funny, but worst case scenario, 1x.
Brighton Fulham. Brighton Fulham. Another complicated one. I'm coming slowly by slowly.
I don't know what to say, but from my little experience, I've seen Brighton disappoint against teams you think they can easily beat. And for that reason alone, I'll give it to Fulham. Yeah.
Fulham is away. I expect Brighton to. This is a draw.
And because of what I've said, Brighton, and it's usually disappointment. Whether home or away, I'll give Fulham.
Newcomers, Sunderland, West Ham.
Sunderland, West Ham. It's opening day weekend. You know the hype of opening day, the first game of the season, newly promoted. If I was a team that has just been newly promoted, I would want my first game to be at home.
Sunderland, just to cut you short, Sunderland is one of the few teams in the Premier League that has spent over £100 million in transfers.
And releasing or even
buying players. And also they signed Arsenal's former captain, Granit Xhaka, and he's now their captain.
Okay.
And they're hosting West Ham.
So for that alone, there's too much hype and psyche in the Sunderland camp. It's the first game of the season. They are home.
Remain in reality, regardless of the hype and.
No. It really plays a lot when you're home.
Do you remember the remontada hype? What happened? Okay, that's what I'm telling you.
I know it's
the reality part of it.
Okay.
So Tottenham, Burnley.
Wait, I haven't given Sunderland.
Yeah.
I'm giving Sunderland.
Sunderland win. Okay, this one to me is a draw, 1-1 or a 2-2.
Okay.
Tottenham, Burnley newcomers.
I'll just give now the reverse. Tottenham has a new manager.
Is at home, yes.
They have a new manager in the former Brentford manager. Yeah. We all know how he's a very direct oriented person in terms of his football approach, his philosophy. I think that is going to suit Tottenham more in essence, and in light of the fact that, you know, they no longer have Son. So a more direct approach, I think he brings good energy, good vibes to the club. Burnley's first game is away. The hype of a new manager at home. I'm giving Tottenham. Usually opening day, I'm just going to base on, first of all, if you're a traditionally stronger team than your opponent, and the whole vibe. There's sometimes betting is luck, but I'll give Tottenham.
Okay, Wolves hosting Manchester City?
Man City, sure. We don't need to overdwell on that. Wolves has lost Cunha.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how they're going to adapt to his to that loss. Okay, he was really a pivotal player to their team. Basing on that alone, and the mere fact that they're playing the juggernaut in Man City.
But you see, Man City, I don't trust Man City a lot nowadays, defensively. And okay, there are players around. Maybe Rodri got an injury setback during the Club World Cup. On paper, we expect Man City to win the game, and Wolves has been giving them headache also.
Oh, there is also
in the previous times.
Yeah.
But like you've said, they lost Cunha, and now they have to rebuild on their system.
Oh, they also
and all
lost
that stuff.
Aït
Nouri, yeah. So, and Aït Nouri is now going back home to Man City. To Wolves.
To Wolves.
So anyway, I expect Man City to win this game. I would be surprised with any other result apart from a Man City win.
So before you go to the next game, I think this if you're Guardiola, the perfectionist that I see in him looks out for teams that give him the hardest time. And like you've said, Wolves gives him the hardest time. Traditionally, it has given him the hardest time.
Yeah.
Like in the past, like we know, like you've said. So for that reason alone, I know he's going to bring his strongest squad with the specific aim of demolishing Wolves. He wants to remove that hoodoo that Wolves has put on Man City with a very thumping victory. Anything less will actually be a disappointment to him. So I think you can look out for that as well.
Thumping.
Yeah, thumping.
Okay. Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Chelsea's at home.
Okay.
Hosting the current Charity Shield or Community Shield.
Charity Shield.
Charity Shield. Old name.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace looked solid against Liverpool.
Okay.
In the Community Shield. They gave them hard time. They conceded first, but managed to draw and also win on penalties.
Okay.
Basing on what you saw, if they don't lose Eze and maybe because you had I saw Gueye getting off the pitch because of an injury. I don't know if it was actually a serious injury, but I hope he's there.
I saw him smiling. Even the commentators pointed that out. So
I hope it's not a serious injury. So all factors constant. They've not lost Gueye. Eze is available, and Mateta is available. Looks like those are some of their most important players. What do you expect from this game? Chelsea's at home. Today they beat AC Milan convincingly 4-1, and they're looking fresh with all their new signings and young squad, and they are home.
Odela performed well.
Exactly, scored 2 goals. Okay. So what do you expect from that game?
I like what Maresca has brought to Chelsea. You can say in the recent months, both clubs have won something. Actually, 2 somethings. Chelsea has won the conference and Club World Cup. Very significant trophies. And then Crystal Palace, everyone doesn't expect them to win anything, but they have taken the FA Cup against Man City
and the Community Shield against Liverpool,
the reigning champions. So there is confidence in both camps, and usually in such situations, you'd like to give the edge to Chelsea. Chelsea here is the better team on paper. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I'm giving it to Chelsea. They had maybe 2-1 win or something, because Crystal Palace is stubborn. They no longer fear. I like what Glasner has brought to Crystal Palace. There is no fear factor there.
Okay. Nottingham Forest also hosting Brentford.
These are the awkward games that you just.
But Brentford lost Mbuemo. Okay. They lost their captain Christian Noga to Arsenal. Okay. Thomas Frank, the former coach, is now in Spurs. Okay. So this looks a bit complicated. Nottingham Forest almost lost Gibbs White, but they managed to keep him. It was a funny transfer saga because he was announced he's joining Spurs. Then the next thing we know, he's now staying at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest had issues towards the end of last season. They started well towards, I think, the run-in and also good performances against some teams you didn't expect them to beat. Yeah. But then they crashed.
They pulled off
exactly towards the end of the season. So they are hosting Brentford. Brentford, basing on what we've talked about, them losing some of those pivotal figures, pieces of their puzzle. What do you expect from this game? Nottingham Forest is at home.
Okay. You've brought that history. And in fact, the owner also went on the pitch and during that skid they had, it was not good to see. I think they really had hopes of making it to Europe. It's interesting to see how
Champions League.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they ended up in the Conference League. Then because of the multi-ownership club in the Champions League, Crystal Palace was again pushed down, and then Nottingham Forest is now the one in the Europa League.
So when you factor in all of that, it's interesting to see how they bounce back this season, the approach they take, because it had to be that season where, like the Leicester season, where but in this case, it had to be that season where they all the luck on their side and then they make it to Europe. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, it's a game that is quite hard to call. I don't know if the new I don't know who's Brentford's new manager, because there's that new manager bounce effect that sometimes affects clubs,
which is also hard to tell when the season has just begun.
Yes, I don't know how this
first game.
Yes, I don't know what is going on in the Brentford camp right now. So for that, I don't want to give something and someone looks at me and is like, "Where you?"
But before we started, we said,
okay, I know, no, but
we said before we started,
we gave that disclaimer. Yes,
you gave a disclaimer. You're like, I'm joking or something.
For that reason alone, I'll just keep it at Nottingham. Worst case scenario, a draw. 1x.
Leeds United, Everton. Leeds at home. Everton looking slightly fresh. I'm using slightly because we know Everton. When it comes to pre-season games, those ones you don't look at them that much.
It's a Monday.
Basing on what we've seen, this will be a Monday night game. I'm saying this because I have to finalize with the meat. With the meat of the competition.
I was wondering.
Something was missing.
Something was missing.
Let's go to Leeds. Leeds at home. Leeds at home to Everton.
Another case of a newly promoted team riding on the hype of being at home. First game of the season. I'm sticking with home teams.
This is the Leeds that drew with you guys recently. I think it was your first preseason game. And this is the same Leeds that almost beat AC Milan yesterday. Was it yesterday or the other day? Or Friday? They almost beat AC Milan. The game ended 1-1. So it wasn't that. It's not the other. Sometimes these teams that come from down usually first perform well at the beginning of the season. So for me here, I see Leeds win. I don't expect them to falter. At least they still have some of their. They still have that zeal of getting back to the Premier League. And knowing Everton, like I said, Everton has that tendency of only wanting to show up. I don't understand Everton. They always want to show up when they play against Liverpool, against Man U, against Arsenal. Then when they face some of these mid-table teams, they look like you even wonder why they were putting a lot of pressure on you.
It's a Monday game, the last game of the opening weekend. Leeds will definitely have more to look forward to. That game. That's why I'm giving it to Leeds.
Manchester United at Old Trafford.
Title contenders.
That has spent 2 seasons without beating Arsenal. That has spent a number of games without coming out with a smile. In the league, with the exception of, I know you're going to come at me with the FA Cup, beat you guys with 10 men, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Right now, we have the Glocker race. So, Arsenal, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Give me
my prediction.
What you expect from the game.
First of all, let me build to my prediction. Both clubs have new additions. It's interesting to see whose team has quickly meshed very well. Which of the two managers in Amorim and Arteta has made its team quickly assimilate and see whether the pieces are working together. We just want to see that dynamic bit, and it is very beautiful that it is the last game of the weekend. It is
Sunday. Sunday around 6 p.m.
6:30. So it is. The center stage is well set for us. That's the only thing that everyone is looking forward to see, especially the respective fans.
What do you expect? Give me a scoreline.
I would say 2-1 in favor of Arsenal. I want to keep it simple. For the simple reason that one of the things I'm basing on is that I'm looking at Premier League as a whole, and I clearly see the 3 clubs that are quite ahead of the rest. You can add in a Chelsea, but Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, those clubs are ahead. Their structures are solid.
Organization.
Everyone has bought in. from head to toe. So it's just minor improvements they are making. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you factor that in, and then you look on the other side, Amorim is still getting his feet underneath him. For that reason alone, bearing in mind Arsenal also has this in their, they have a, you can call it PTSD, finishing second, thrice in a row. When you factor all that in, and basing on what you said, that Arsenal, in another video, that Arsenal has employed a more direct approach, I would give it to Arsenal. That is it. They are the better team on paper. They are solid. I think Arsenal has officially reached, maybe for some time now, they have reached the level whereby they go away or home and they don't care. More so, we're even coming off the back of a season where they almost embarrassed Madrid. I'm saying almost because by Madrid standard, it shouldn't be a thing that Madrid went 2 legs without scoring a goal, but it is, because it is Madrid. So they barely escaped those 2 legs without scoring a goal.
We got threatened with comebacks,
remontada,
with being locked up in the stadium.
Yeah.
With anyway.
I would really want Man U to win.
Yeah.
But I'm being grounded in reality, and I can see a 2-1 win. Either 2-1 in favor of Arsenal or 3-1. There's a lot to prove. Gyökeres really is dying to prove to people that Premier League is just another league, another challenge for him. And for that reason, it's either 2-1, 3-1, or 2-0 in favor of Arsenal. I think Man U definitely hasn't yet reached that. Yeah.
Let me be realistic.
Okay.
Basing on what I've seen in the past,
okay,
whether past seasons or games or whatever.
Okay.
Manchester United looks, even if they are not looking good, whether with injuries or what, at home they always turn up.
Yeah.
They always turn up. That's why I was telling you that I don't usually take banter from the Chelseas, the Who's, those who got whatever, make it look easy for teams like Man City and Liverpool and all that stuff. Manchester United, regardless of how they are trying to build or trying to do what, they always turn up
for big games.
They always turn up for big games. They always try to prove a point. Arsenal, it does not have a good history.
The exception of Liverpool.
Does not have a good recent history going to Old Trafford. So mentally, it could be, and being the first game of it, because if it had been like the 8th game whereby we all know, let's say, how each one has been playing, but now this game involves some new signings, some tweaking in tactics. We could have seen a scenario if the game was like eight games into the season. We could have known this is how these guys are playing. This is we need to cover here and here. I don't think preseason has given out enough for these both coaches to see and be like, I have to attack this. I have to cover here and do this. I am glad that I believe we all have our players. I'm not really sure whether Manchester United. I've not seen Mazraoui around.
Yeah.
I've not seen with the exception of the Garnachos and those who were banished from the starting lineup. I've not seen some players Ugarte around for some time. So, but at least you guys have assembled the team whereby your new signings. We were talking about your new signings yesterday. We're all looking forward to what are they going to change this time, and also the whole atmosphere that comes with it. Personally, my prediction would be a draw. Like I said, being the first game of the season, yes, Gyökeres is there, but he's supposed to get used to the team.
Okay.
And he only has like a week now to get used to the team. And now it's like getting a baptism of fire. Same applies to Sesko. He didn't have a preseason. So you guys may bring him, and I don't think you guys will bring him. Okay, if they bring him, then fine, but
probably in
the second half, yeah. But I don't expect him to start the game, and because his match fitness and this being a new league for him, at least Gyökeres has played Tottenham. He has played yesterday. He played Bilbao. He has had enough time to train because the transfer worked much earlier than the one of Sesko. So personally, I would go for like a 1-1 or 2-2. If Arsenal comes with that defensive system of making sure we don't lose the game, I expect either Arsenal to win the game with a 2-1 margin, or maybe draw the game. But I don't expect Arsenal to lose that game. It will be a shame for Arteta to lose that game. And let me say this, whoever loses that game, the season is going to start badly for them. Because if Amorim loses that game, pressure immediately is going to start mounting on him. If Arteta loses that game, people are going to be like, same old. You can't even beat Man U. You signed a new striker. That noise is going to be there of Gyökeres and him not performing, because the hype that has been there from the time we signed the player. And remember, there's a funny dynamic here. Manchester United wanted Gyökeres. Gyökeres rejected Manchester United. I don't have clear news that Sesko rejected Arsenal or something. It must have been something to do with their the finances. Not finances for the team, but the agents asking for more money than actually what money brought to the player. We actually expected Sesko to be the Arsenal striker and Gyökeres to be the Manchester United striker.
Investing on the Ruben connection.
Exactly. So right now, things are basically we couldn't see in the future, and things have worked out the way they worked out. But I'll be glad if we win the game.
You can't just say you want to win. Don't beat around the bush.
I started my speech by let me be realistic, basing on what I've seen. Of course, I want a win. And when we win, I don't know. But
like I've also said, I would want the win. But
being realistic. So hopefully we catch up again very soon. To talk about more preparations and to look at what we've been talking about. To see where I've come through and where you've come through.
Before we go, I just want to touch on the what you talked about, the Manchester Arsenal game. Actually, I think the reverse. Arsenal and the Arteta camp, there is no bigger disappointment than losing the trophy thrice. There is nothing that beats that. So what do I mean by that? When you say baptism of fire, I actually think the Arsenal camp it didn't have a care in the world, right? Even if it were Liverpool, even if it were Man City, it's Man U. With all due respect, yes, I support Manchester United. I'm a fan of Manchester United, but you wouldn't maybe if I said something like Arsenal would beat us, it wouldn't be an overstep. It wouldn't be should I say a lie? You'd expect an overstatement. I don't know which word to use there, but anyway, you get my point.
Yeah, but also the season, it's not a season-defining game.
I know.
Yeah, but it's the
but
first
what I'm trying to do,
maybe for the sake of bragging rights and media pressure and all that stuff, especially on the coaches and the two strikers.
There's that, but what I'm trying to build to is this: because Arsenal has enough experience, most of it coming from the 3 trophies that they would have. Yes. What does that mean? They have faced enough pain, and they have reached a point where they know. The Bilbao game gave us a sort of blueprint of the approach.
I hope the players are serious as the way you make it sound.
Yes, and I do. I know what I'm thinking in the Arsenal camp is this. Having new additions has brought a bit of freshness to the club, because if it was the same players, losing the trophy thrice, it takes a lot of willpower. But when you add new players, it brings freshness to the club. And Gyökeres, who else did you add? You added Nogard, you added Zubimendi. So the club is really looking, there's a bit of freshness in the club. So you can expect that there's less burden going to be on Saka to be the go-to guy. A very good amount of pressure has also been shifted to Gyökeres' position.
I think most of it, if
exactly.
I'm not mistaken.
So I expect a very good season from Saka. You add people like Zubimendi within the midfield, Nogard. You can imagine the field there that Declan Rice is going to have. So this baptism of fire thing, yes, it is a point, but to me, I think Arsenal has reached a point where they're like, you know what, even if give us Liverpool, give us Man City, whether it's home or away, first game of the season, we don't care. The intention is clear. We want the trophy. It doesn't really matter how it comes. So, and I think I said that in another video where I was like, call me a conspiracy theorist, but Arsenal getting their beginning schedules always being that tight. Season in, season out.
It's happening once too many times.
It is no longer looking like a coincidence, but we don't want to go into the other things. But it has come to a point where even if that's the case, Arsenal doesn't care. We are going for the trophy with one head. That is it.